3000, coaches will be offering 80% off for their 30th century sale. But there will still only be 2 spots available.
There we go. Brian, you so mean, homie. You so mean to these people. This squat set was mean. Let me tell you about it. So it's been about 10 years since I've done anything remotely close to this. I got 405 on that bar. I did it for 4 reps and at a relatively low RPE. It's been about a decade since I've been able to rep out 4 plates for a decent amount of reps at a relatively low RPE. So for those of you guys who don't know, back in 2008, I mangled my SI joint. I've had to work around it since then. I mean, I'm still able to progress and do things, but a lot of my favorite core movements have definitely been just inconsistent. But like this made my day. So the reason I am doing those instead of pin squatting, I get to the gym, they tell me you have 45 minutes to get this in. It's Monday, holiday Monday, right? And I'm like, shoot, I can't do pin squats because pin squats, they take so much out of me that, you know, in between sets, like I'm going to need my rest. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to squat, have a good, decent, heavy squat day, and boom, that happened. So I'm glad it worked out. That made my week. It was one of those workouts where, you know, you say that I could have left there because I'm satisfied. You really don't mean that. I mean, you still want to do the rest of your stuff, but it was like that good. Like that's a fitting expression for how the day went. Yeah. That made my week. We could end the journal here basically. That's how my week went. But we'll go over the rest of the stuff. We have a few good movements to dissect this week, so stay tuned for that. Seal rows I'm starting to do again. One thing that you're going to see is prior to starting the movement, I get my stuff out the way, and that's because I've been creating so much tension on the bench. So kind of how you wedge yourself into a bench press when you're bench pressing, into a bench when you're bench pressing. Same thing, only as I slide in, I try to create pressure right here in my sternum, pull my ribs down, and you get so much more range of motion when it comes to what your scapula is doing. So the protraction and retraction feels so much better, and not to mention you create all sorts of good tension and stability. Tension and stability is how you win with free weights. So yeah, I was basically taking a lot of the concepts that, again, I learned from a lot of those big core movements like squats, deadlifts, bench presses, and with anything, again, where you kind of have to stay on track, right? The track isn't preset the way it would be with a machine. It's important that you create stability, that you create all sorts of tension, like head to toe. So that's the one thing I do love about free weight movements, is just the amount of body awareness that that you need to have in order to be successful with them. I'm doing this instead of pull-ups because my trap, remember I pulled it last week, the any sort of pull-up or chin-up variation kind of seems to bother it. So we're going with these for now. Things to make note of: I have my glute squeeze on the side where I'm pulling down. What this does is it keeps me from having too much arch in my lower back, because what this does is it's going to shorten up your lat, and especially at the top, you're not going to feel as much of that goody good stretch. So kind of like you would if you were stretching your hip flexor. That's kind of sort of what I have going on there. So yeah, that's my motor rows, substituting the pull-ups because of the whole ordeal with the trap. I made a video for Omar Isaf's channel on rear delt raises. Big key here is keep your scapula protracted. What this does is it keeps a lot of your mid-back muscles from taking away, because they're huge. You have a few things there. You have your traps, you have your trap 3 and 4, and then you have your rhomboids, like, you know, doing this, like pulling your scapula together. It can take away from those little nuggets back there, those rear delts. My rear delt is actually, I think, my best head of my deltoid, more than my lateral, which is like, I feel like those are pretty decently impressive, like on me relative to everything else. And I've never really done direct work for them, but I want to see, hey, what happens. Those, you know, I think we've all seen like those people with those obnoxiously like big round rear delts. They look impressive. Just makes the physique look really elegant and complete. So we're gonna do that. I added a little magnet there. I don't know if you guys saw that on the other side. So we're moving on up when it comes to our lateral raises. And again, we're doing the seated simply because it's very easy to, through your ankles, knees, hips, lower back, to assist yourself a little bit with these, and because you should be using not a whole lot of weight, it's very easy to take away quite a bit from the muscle group that you are targeting. Big thing that I'm doing here with the dips, something to make note of. I have a video again on Omar's channel. Maybe I'm gonna learn to put them. You know what? I'm gonna put them up here. I'm gonna push myself, and I'm gonna have links for those videos up here. But yeah, what I'm trying to do is get in. Keep my scapula moving. So in order to not create impingement up here, I clear it by basically, you could say shrugging up, right? Right, that's the word. Yes, I guess we'll call it that. But yeah, doing that instead of, I think the way most people do it is they kind of do this thing where their shoulders rolling forward. I think one, because it looks cool in the mirror, and they're like, I must be hitting that body part, and no doubt about that. Yeah, there's a lot of stress here, and you can see it. But yeah, not good for your long term. This set here was probably like not good form. You can see that I kind of squat down a little bit. I changed my knee angle, but this was something where it was more of a, like, look, I know that I shouldn't have been doing this load. Like, I'm not there yet. I think my back off work would have been like pretty appropriate, but I wanted to do 3 plates because it was the mental significance that it had in my mind. I'm like, if I could, good morning, even if it is with kind of awful form, 315, that is going to do a lot for my confidence when it comes to that old injury. A big part of getting over an injury is getting over like the trauma to the area, but the mental stuff tends to linger much longer. So I'm like, you know what? This is going to be relatively shitty, I think, but you're going to do it and you're not going to break, and that's going to make you feel just super awesome and fearless in a responsible way going forward. So that's why I did that. This was probably more appropriate, but I was so taxed out from the stuff before that these look kind of oogly. But you know what? Again, like in regards to confidence and what this means, I'm gonna have weeks that are shortly here, they're gonna absolutely clobber these. But in regards to like what this week did for my confidence, like I'm so ready. I'm ready, and I'm excited, and I'm going to do everything that I can outside of the gym to keep myself this healthy, so that I can put together something that I can be proud of. And again, at this point, I'm pretty committed to the series. We're going to keep rolling with this. No one really out there talks about training. They do, but it's just like you do it. To me, it's like my life's passion. Like, I live to train. Like, since I was 16, that's the one thing that I look forward to more than anything else. I remember missing notes in class because I was visualizing how my day was going to go and all the PRs that I was going to hit. So no sport, I was better at other sports, but no sport like ever like hit me in the insides like the way bodybuilding did. So PR on this too. You can see that dumbbell almost slipped. Yeah, you know what? I think with these, going heavy every once in a while, just to keep it from being stale, is probably okay. But I think I'm going to stick like in the teens when it comes to those calf raises, and pause them. It takes a long ass time if you pause them, because we went over that last time. This is why we paused it at the bottom. Go back to the last video if you didn't catch why, but you're not really doing calves unless you do that. But we'll do it just for the sake of safety. Like, I got the tiniest little fucking ankles, and I want those things to stay healthy. So this was my myo rep set. Probably the hardest set of the week, to be honest. On my posterior chain dominant leg day, I really only do 1 straight set for quads, and then I do a myo rep with this, so a cluster set. Look up myo reps if you don't know what they are, but it's basically a rest pause sort of technique. And man, like this one absolutely destroys me. Like myo reps always to me make me realize how how like dissatisfied I am with my work ethic. Like that's always something that I think that you should be striving to work towards is a better work ethic, regardless of how much of a workhorse you are. Doesn't mean be a dumbass and just do stupid shit and do endless amounts of volume, but in regards to focus, in regards to like being locked in and doing your thing, it's something that I'm always striving to improve. But these, man, like I get nervous, and I hate the fact that I get nervous. Like I want to be in there fearless and with poise, but man, there's something else. So I think the first set was 7 or 8 reps, and then I did clusters of 2 reps afterwards. So about 5 breaths, getting back in there, and then doing 2 reps, and basically everything just ends up feeling like the final 2 reps of the first set to kick things off. The funny bit here was then it was like the other leg's turn, and you'll see that I have to actually quit because that leg, the left leg, was so engorged with blood that I couldn't keep it hooked in. It was underneath the side that wasn't moving. It was just so pumped and painful that I needed a good 5 minutes before like it would allow me to do my other leg. But man, that's my week. That is my week. We're up somewhere in the high 180s now. I'd say like somewhere between 186 is a good place. I'll consider that high. It's on the other side of 5. I feel great. I feel healthy. I'm excited to train, and it's really only been about 7 months going into this off season. We have at least another, I'd say 6 months, honestly, before we even think about that mini cut. And you know what? If things continue going this well, I'll just keep going. And if it means me getting a bit over 200 pounds, I'm down. Yeah, that's how things are going in the year 3000. The futuristic bulk is going super well, and we're having all sorts of fun doing it. So that is it. That's what I have for you guys. Like if you like. The spreadsheet is now down there in the bottom. Check it out. That's what I'm rolling with. All right. Thank you for your patience, guys. Like if you like. All right.